Hello everybody, Mark G with a C back with another video. Today's video, I thought I was going to do a review of some gigs I've been to recently. Lucky enough to go to 3 gigs in the past 6 weeks. All bands that I was really looking forward to seeing, and to be honest, I couldn't believe that they were playing at the places they were playing, little venues right up my street, proper little tiny sweaty intimate venues, you know. So as soon as I saw these bands were playing there, I thought I'll have to have a bit of that. And they were all in Manchester, and I'm sure, as you well know, I live on the Wirral, so it's only an hour drive for me. So yes, first gig I went to was Jungle Rot and Ultraviolence at the Star and Garter in Manchester. I'm familiar with the Star and Garter in Manchester because the band I was in after I was in Enchantment, we played there a couple of times, so I kind of knew where it was. It's right by Piccadilly Station, right underneath all the train tracks go over all the bridges. It proper out of the way, no problem parking, which is a bit of a bonus. So yeah, so the 4 bands on that night, that was the middle of May. First band on, God-Shaped Devil. I think they were a local band, and they were all right. They were good. They were playing like a mix of sort of thrash and death metal. When I walked in the venue, they were already playing, as most first bands were. They go on sort of 10 minutes after the place opens. But yeah, I enjoyed them a lot. Next up on the bill, if I've not said before, there was 4 bands on. Frozen Shadows, and I believe they're a local band from Manchester. They were very good. Decent vocalist. Again, they were playing sort of a technical sort of death thrash music. I don't know if God-Shaped Devil or Frozen Shadows are either signed bands or, but yeah, they were very good. Didn't seem to play a note wrong, and enjoyed them thoroughly. But third up on that bill was the Ultraviolence, or just Ultraviolence. All the way from Turin, or Turin, however you want to say it, in Italy. This is their debut album that I picked up at the gig. They seem to be quite hard to get on eBay and on Amazon, so I was looking to pick a bit of merch up. And to be honest, I'll show you all the merchandise I picked up from all 3 gigs as we go along with this video. Yeah, but it was a shame they only played about 30 minutes set, 35 minutes maybe, but full of energy. Little Italian lads. Guitars were nearly as big as them, but they were great. They came out to their intro music was like a narrated passage from A Clockwork Orange, Ed Repka artwork, and as you can see, name of the band Ultraviolence, and they've got that whole Clockwork Orange thing going on. But yeah, they were tight, they were fast, energetic, chuggy, modern thrash. A few little blast beats in there, you know, which seems to be the sort of way with modern thrash bands these days. Don't even remember the thrash bands that I fell in love with in the late 80s, early 90s. Didn't really do the blast beat part, but yeah. So, and this is what you can hear in the background as well. Is this album playing? Yeah, they were very good, and I also picked up their latest CD, which has got a cover. I don't know if you can see it there, but Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. They didn't play that on the night, but I've had a listen to it, and it's all right. It's kind of good, but in a bad way. I'm not sure about thrash bands playing, you know, pop song covers. I don't know. Maybe if you're Acid Rain, you're playing Hanging on Telephone, you can get away with it. But yeah. So, and I also picked up a shirt. Very happy to get a bit of merch from there, and they did me a deal. I said, how much would you do me 2 CDs and a t-shirt, and they did it for 25 quid. So yeah, can't grumble at that. And that's the album cover for their second album. Got 3 albums out. I picked up the debut and the latest one, and that's their second one, Deflect the Flow. So next up was the main band, Jungle Rot. From Wisconsin in America. This is a old school death metal band. Absolutely amazing. Now, I picked up this album not at the gig. To be honest, they weren't selling any CDs, and the t-shirts they were selling were from Skin the Living, which is their first album from donkeys years ago. So I actually didn't pick any merch up from them, but they played about a 50-minute set, chugging old school, meaty death metal. And this is their latest album, which is called Jungle Rot. Now, I had to buy this on vinyl because just look at that cover. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a soldier drowning in a sort of flooded trench or whatever it is. But I don't know if you can see that. I hope it shows up on this, but it's just an absolutely stupendous piece of artwork. That one of my favourite covers I think I've seen in it of recent times. But yeah, 3-piece on there, but there were a 4-piece. Had a drummer with them. Yellow vinyl, custom label on that. But yeah, superb. They were very good. They got the crowd going. There was a nice mosh pit going at the front of the crowd, which I was staying well out of the way of. I'm too old for that. By the time these came on, I was ready for a sit down, to be honest. But yeah, they were absolutely fantastic. My head was going like this all night. Just kind of got that. I've got a bit of an obituary, not in sound wise, but just in the style wise. That real chuggy, meaty, just brilliant riffs, really good riffs. You know, like a band if you've not even heard them and you went to a gig, you'd enjoy hearing the riffs, the ones that you can sort of get into pretty quickly. So yeah, that was my first gig at the Star and Garter. And that was closely followed by the second gig at the Star and Garter in Manchester, and that was headlined by the mighty Fleshcrawl. So as soon as I saw this pop up, along with his first gig, Jungle Rot, they were only 15 quid to get in. And like I say, little venues that I'm familiar with is always a bonus. So yeah, first on that night was a band called After the Abduction. Again, they were already playing by the time I rolled up. Gates open, doors open at 7. I was there for 7:15 and they already kicked off. From what I remember, they were fairly decent. They were all right. Nothing memorable, unfortunately. Sorry, After the Abduction guys, but you know, 5 bands on this gig, and they were only on for sort of 20-25 minutes. And I think they were an English band, local. Second up was a band called Consumed. And it was a bit weird, really, because they came on. They seemed all right, you know. They were playing some decent riffs, and the singer, guy with short hair, was singing. But halfway through, I think the second song, he just seemed to completely lose the thread of the song. He just seemed a bit lost, and we found out in the next song he wasn't even the singer of the band. He was the singer of the next band who were on, Osterism, and he was kind of standing in to do him a favour. The band Consumed, and then there was a guy in the crowd watching them, and then he jumped up on the stage and announced himself as their new singer. So I'm not sure if maybe the new singer didn't know the first few songs he played and was more familiar with the last couple in the set, but he was good. He had a decent voice, the new singer. Big fucking dude he was, long hair and big beard, covered in tats. But yeah, they were quite good. They had a bit of merch for sale. I didn't pick any of it up, to be honest, but yeah, I quite enjoyed them. Next up after that was this band I mentioned, Austerism, Austerym, Austerymn, from Cheshire, I believe. Really good, old school, classic death metal. Really enjoyed them. Gruff vocals, plenty of catchy, memorable riffs in it. Excuse me, I'll just have a little drink there. I got a dry throat. Yeah, so they were good. I enjoyed them. They had a little bit of merch there. I like checking out the merch of these bands because I'm always up, you know, if I'm going to see a band, I want to support them. You know, I've paid to get in there. I want to support them. But to be honest, I was after a bit of Fleshcrawl merch, and that's what I did. Anyway, they were a good band. So next up from Wales was a band called Sodomized Cadaver. This is this band. I picked this CD up, again a bit of merch off the band, and this album is Verses of Vorophilia. Never heard that word before, Vorophilia. So I looked it up, and apparently it means the erotic desire to consume or be consumed by another person or creature. And I suppose with a name like Sodomized Cadaver, see if that'll come out of there so you can see the cover a bit better. You can see by the cover there what they're all about. They're just gore metal, real good, groovy, old school death metal with disgusting lyrics. Absolutely disgusting lyrics. All about, let me see if I can find what songs we've got. We've got Sodomized intro, Cannibal Butcher, Visceral Shredder, Skull Fracture Massacre, Half Dead Burial, Vile Intercourse. Says it all. But they were really good. A three-piece band, like I say, from Wales, and they were good. They had a bit of banter with the crowd, you know, but very good. Yeah, really enjoyed them. Old school death metal. Excuse me. And then last up was Fleshcrawl. Unfortunately, Fleshcrawl didn't have any CDs for sale on the night. Just had t-shirts. I picked up 2 of their t-shirts for 20 quid, a long sleeve and this one. If you don't know Fleshcrawl, German old school death metal. They've been going since the late 80s, I think 87, 88. From Bavaria they are. I've only got one of their albums. They're really quite hard to come by, but yeah, just great classic brutal death metal. I'm sure if you're a death metal fan watching this, you'll know who Fleshcrawl is. But what I loved about this t-shirt is this design. I've seen this on eBay. You can get this all day long on there. But you know, especially for the gig, if I can see that, if I can show you that there, they're only playing three dates in the UK, and they put the venue on the back there, Manchester, Star and Garter. So that was a nice little touch. And I picked up a long sleeve from their classic album Impurity, which is as rare as rockin' horse shit to find. An album that I would love to get my hands on. I've only got one Fleshcrawl, bit of print on the sleeves there, as you can see. Fleshcrawl, yeah. So I was made up to pick up a bit of merch, but yeah, they were great. Bit disappointing the turnout, to be honest. I thought there was probably only, by the time Fleshcrawl played, there was probably only about maybe 35, 40 people in the venue, which was nice for me because I could get quite up close to the front of the stage and have a good look, you know, and get close to them. But yeah, they were brilliant. I wasn't expecting anything else from a band as so experienced as Fleshcrawl, but yeah, quality German death metal. And for the last gig, this was at a club called the Atmar in Manchester. Club I wasn't familiar with Manchester, but wasn't familiar with the Atmar. Put it into Google Maps on my phone and away I went. Last week I think it was. And yeah, 4 bands on there: Ascalon, Eliminator, Bewitcher and Visigoth. The venue, park my car in Manchester, parking meters only, and between 8 PM and 8 AM it's free. Anyway, I arrived about 7 o'clock, went to the parking meter, and they wanted something like £4.80 for an hour, and I was like, what? And half an hour was, I think, £1.40. So I just sat in my car, rang my missus up, spoke to her for a little bit, passed a bit of time. I was busting for a piss, which was a bit of a bummer. But yeah, so anyway, got in the venue at 7:30, and Ascalon were already playing. Local sort of new wave of traditional heavy metal band. They were good. I liked it very much. The singer had a really good voice. Both guitarists were really good. They just kind of didn't look the parts. You know, the singer had a cap on. The bass player had sort of flares and long hair. And I know it's not all about the hair. If I was in a band now, I haven't got the hair, but I don't know. They just didn't kind of have that stage presence. I enjoyed the music, and I'll certainly check them out. Ascalon, Ascalon. I'll certainly check them out, but I kind of wasn't paying that much attention. I was having a look at the merch table for the other bands. Next up, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to go to this gig, if I'm honest with you, was Eliminator. Andy over at Cloudy Milder turned me on to these guys through his mixtape or mix CD that he did of a lot of these new wave of traditional heavy metal bands, and I know he's shown their album on his channel. Managed to pick up a t-shirt which I was buzzing about, and I also picked up the album. Again, it was the bass player. I spoke to the bass player after they played and just said, what would you do me for the album and a t-shirt, and 20 quid for the album and the t-shirt. So I was going to have this album, not the CD. I would have gone for the CD, but nice gatefold there. So yeah, these guys came on. Seemed really nice, down to earth guys. They were great. The singer guy in the middle, he's got a great voice, really powerful. If I'm honest, I thought the sound man could have done a little. I think that's just on black vinyl, is it? Yeah, custom label on there. You can see. I did well, to be honest, to get this out of the gig without being damaged, because I was holding it in front of me all the way through Visigoth, and it escaped unscathed. But yeah, from Lancaster, by the way, Eliminator, which is not far down the road from where I was born in Blackpool. Yeah, superb, really good musicians. Really enjoyed them, but like I was just saying then, the singer, the sound man didn't do him any favours. You know, I thought his voice could have been a bit higher in the mix, really, but they were really good. They were really good. Made up, I saw them. They only were playing for half an hour, but I was very happy to finally see them and pick up a bit of merch as well. And okay, they were followed by Bewitcher, which is this band. I picked up this CD again. I'm a sucker for the merch, aren't I? Luckily, I've not got any more gigs planned in the upcoming weeks, so I can save a few pennies. But these are from Portland, Oregon, and they describe themselves as satanic speed metal. And I won't argue with them. They were brilliant, because after sort of Ascalon and Eliminator, they were playing really, you know, the music's heavy, but these took it to another level, got the place really and they did a cover. They finished their set with a cover of Motorhead's The Catch. Is it The Catch is better than the Chase? Yeah, the Chase is better than the Catch. That's right. Yeah, finished with a cover of that, which went down an absolute storm. So Bewitcher, Shadow Kingdom Records. This is their, I think it's their only release. I don't think they've got anything out before this, but yeah, Savage Lands of Satan, Under the Witching Cross, Heathen Woman, and the Sign of a Goat. Says it all. Bewitcher. And they were followed by this band and the headline act of Visigoth. From Salt Lake City in Utah. They were quality. Spoke to the guitarist a little bit when I was at the merch table when I bought this CD from. He had a Pestilence t-shirt on, and I was wearing a Sanctuary t-shirt, Refuge Denied, so we ended up sort of getting chatting just about music really. But yeah, what a nice fella. These guys were great. The vocalist, he's got a set of pipes. They'd managed to get the sound sorted really by the time Visigoth came on. And his voice just sounded awesome. I'd not heard any of the songs off this album, so I was eager to pick this up at the gig. Steel and Silver is an instantly lovable track. But they played songs off the first album. A Revenant King, played Dungeon Master, Iron Brotherhood. And the singer was just getting right in there. He was right at the front of the crowd. Slapping hands, fist pumping. You know, he got the place absolutely rocking. But these guys are. I don't want to do them a disservice saying they're like Manowar, because they're not. But they've got that mythical, mysterious sort of. Lyrical content, but the music's just, you know, really melodic, power metal, new wave of traditional heavy metal, sort of power metal vibe. But yeah, absolutely superb. And I think they've got a song called Salt City. And when they were playing, the singer was amazed that how many people knew the words to it, and he said, "Oh, I'm all the way in Manchester and I'm playing a song about my own city, and you all know it." And these guys put a cover in their set as well, The Evil That Men Do by Iron Maiden, and they pulled it off really well. Obviously not as good as Iron Maiden would play it, but yeah, singer's got a set of pipes, and he did good. So that's it. That's my. Did I finish off telling you the story about parking my car? No, I didn't. The reason I was telling that story was because of the venue, the Atmar. So I'd waited. That's right. Losing my thread here. So excited about telling you about these gigs. So I get to the venue, Askell on a plane, but didn't know where the venue was. I had a rough idea, so I walked down the corner, Manchester, right near Piccadilly again, but the sort of busy side of Piccadilly. And where it said on my Google Maps I couldn't see any signs on any walls. Anyway, I could hear the band playing, luckily. So I get down this little road, little tiny alleyway, and I'm not joking, this alleyway, you literally couldn't walk down it forwards. You had to sort of spin sideways to get down it. And there's just a little tiny, thin door. Not much bigger than no bigger than your front door. Just a grey steel door. Open that, and it's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It looked like you were just going into a dilapidated building. The stairs looked all fucked and bent, and it's just bare brick on the wall. So anyway, go up these stairs, and as it happened, there's a lad comes in behind me, and I think he was a bit the same as me. He was on his own, and he's sort of looking round. Further up the stairs, another tiny little grey door, and I thought that's where the music's coming from. Open this door, and inside there's just hundreds of metalheads in there. The atmosphere was great. It was just fabulous. You know, great little venue, I have to say, great little venue, but no signs anywhere for it, nothing to tell you, you know, the Atma, AATMA, just nothing to tell you it was there. So I suppose I was glad really that I'd hung on, and because if I'd have got there and the band wasn't playing, I wouldn't have known. There was no one about outside, everyone was up in the venue. But yeah, cracking venue, certainly go again. That's it, guys. I think that's everything I had to show you. Check out that Jungle Rat album cover again. Is that not an absolute cracker? Just love that. That's got to be my favourite album cover at the moment. Just fabulous. And if anyone's interested, where is it? With that album that I bought, I've got a download card for the album. I'm not really one, I don't have a laptop or anything, I do everything on my phone, so if anyone's interested in this, please let me know, because I'll send you the code and you can download the album. If you like old school meaty chugging death metal, and also this album's got a cover of Creator's Terrible Certainty. You can't go wrong with that, can you? That's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Download card, like I say, if anyone's interested, let me know. All the best, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.